Tervehdyksiä hyvät ystävät. Tässä on sitten Decoding China, toinen näistä monista, jotka hyvin tarkkaan seuraavat Kiinan tilannetta ja joilla on hyvin tarkat lähteet. Ja kun te kuuntelette tämän nyt englanniksi, olen nyt aikaa sitä kääntää, niin te huomaatte, että aika valtavia asioita siellä nyt tapahtuu ja että siellä on todella iso näiden sisällisten valtataistelujen kohtaaminen. Ja siinä on koko ajan se vaara, että siitä tulee hyvin verinenkin. Mutta jatketaanpas.
4. Seizes Zhongnanhai security. Liu Jinli mobilizes forces. Signs of looming conflict. Hu Jintao enraged. Power struggle exposed. Did Zhang Yuxia declare war on Xi Jinping? Shocking clues in Zhang Xiaozhen's picture. Air raid sirens sounded in Heikou at dawn. Residents, frightened, we hid in the basement. Beijing's hidden hand. CCP uses hometown groups to meddle in U.S. elections, endangering security. Stroke hits. Shanghai's 45-year-old expert, blogger, claims. Strokes are everywhere. China's C9 mine team jet. A made in China, dream, built on foreign parts facing a grim future. Welcome aboard today's episode of Decoding China, your trusted source for essential insights and timely analysis. '82nd Corps seizes Zhongnanhai security. Liu Jinli mobilizes forces. Signs of looming conflict. The confrontation between the Zhang faction and the Xi faction within the Chinese military has grown increasingly tense, with the situation on the verge of eruption. Both sides have published successive articles in military newspapers attacking one another. Sources reveal that General Liu Jinli, Chief of Staff of the Joint Staff Department under the Central Military Commission, CMC, has been directly appointed to assume command of the 82nd Group Army until the completion of a special mission assigned by the CMC. The unit has reportedly been ordered into Beijing, where it will take direct responsibility for the security of the CMC and assume the task of protecting Zhongnanhai. Anti-communist commentator Lao Deng disclosed that the CMC entrusted Chief of Staff Liu Jinli with commanding the 82nd Group Army for this special mission. The move signals that the Chinese military is seeking to consolidate unified leadership and ensure loyalty to the party and the state amid mounting turbulence. The 82nd Group Army, an elite force directly under the CMC, has been deployed to Beijing to secure the CMC and Zhongnanhai, reflecting both the high level of trust placed in General Liu and the unit's critical role in safeguarding national stability. On August 23rd, General Liu Jinli convened a meeting with senior officers of the 82nd Group Army to convey the spirit of the CMC's conference. He stressed that the military must fully obey the authority of acting chairman Zhang Yuxia, achieving unity in thought and action. Liu denounced the weak leadership under Xi Jinping, citing arbitrary purges, internal disruption, and declining combat readiness and cohesion, likening it to destroying the Great Wall. His remarks underscored the need to manage risks and safeguard the center of power. He emphasized that the People's Liberation Army belongs to the party and the nation, not to any one individual. Accordingly, he called for the thorough elimination of the toxic influence of former CMC Vice Chairman He Weidong and former Director of the General Political Department Miao Hua, restoring the military to its rightful course. General Liu declared that any misguided policies that undermine the armed forces, as well as any attempts to revive extreme leftist political lines, would be met with the PLA's iron fist. He reaffirmed that the 82nd Group Army, as the CMC's steel fist, bears the mission of defending the party leadership, the CMC, and national security. Troops must obey orders, stand ready to safeguard reform and opening, and crush all subversive plots. His speech won strong support, with the unit immediately placed on high alert and prepared for emergency action. On August 25th, Xi Jinping's faction issued a public warning to Zhang Yuxia through an article on the Army 81 website, emphasizing the importance of studying the spirit of the CMC's political meeting. The piece quoted Xi, calling for greater political capacity, war preparedness, and strict party leadership. This was seen as a continuation of last year's Yan'an conference criticism, where Xi implicitly blamed Zhang for the Li Shangfu affair, exposing the clear rift between the two camps inside the military. Also on August 25th, the 82nd Group Army published an article stressing that its transformation marked a crucial turning point. The piece praised the Army's achievements, but did not mention Xi Jinping by name, referring only to loyalty to the party and the people. Commentator Chen Pokong argued that the omission of Xi's name was a deliberate signal, highlighting the widening divide between Zhang Yuxia's faction and Xi's. With a force of 86,000 troops, the 82nd Group Army is the mainstay of the Central Theater Command, and is widely believed to be under Zhang's influence, underscoring the intensifying rivalry with explosive potential. Last year's third plenum of the Central Committee fueled speculation about Xi Jinping's power crisis. Many of Xi's military confidants were purged or disappeared, replaced by Zhang Yuxia's allies. State media and military outlets subsequently abandoned slogans such as 2442, Xi is the core, and Xi Jinping thought. Analyst Song Guo-cheng observed that Xi's authority is fragile, reflected in the prevailing instability and crisis. Song further suggested that Xi suffers from cardiovascular disease, citing his gait and body language at the BRICS summit. He concluded that the collapse of the Chinese communist regime is only a matter of time, not merely a hypothesis. Hu Jintao enraged. Power struggle exposed. Did Zhang Yuxia declare war on Xi Jinping? Shocking clues in Zhong Xiaozhen's picture. A seemingly innocuous photo is now shaking the foundations of Chinese politics. The image of Lieutenant General Zhong Xiaojun, once Xi Jinping's closest aide, slouching casually during a reception, has ignited a political storm. What's more shocking, former President Hu Jintao and Vice Chairman of the Central Military Commission, CMC, Zhang Yuxia, are said to have openly criticized not only Zhang, but indirectly Xi himself. Could a longtime ally be turning against China's most powerful leader? On August 26th, according to overseas commentator Su Xiao, both Hu Jintao and Zhang Yuxia publicly reproached Zhang for his undisciplined posture, saying he had disgraced the military. Rumors spread that many generals were furious, demanding Xi reconsider his choices in personnel. Though unverified, the absolute silence of Chinese state media has fueled speculation that Zhang's position is in jeopardy. Born in Zhejiang in 1968, Zhong Xiaojun was known as Xi's trusted steward, following him from Zhejiang to Shanghai and then to Beijing. As director of the CMC General Office, Zhang oversaw the military on Xi's behalf, despite lacking battlefield experience. In 2024, however, he was abruptly reassigned as political commissar of the National Defense University, widely seen as a sidelined post. Against this backdrop, the photo of his slouched posture carries a deeper meaning, the visible decline of one of Xi's once closest confidants. Zhang is not alone. Xi's entire military inner circle has unraveled. Miao Hua, head of the political work department, has been arrested. He, Wei Dong, CMC vice chairman, has disappeared from view, and Zhong Xiaojun has been pushed into a nominal role. One arrested, one missing, one sidelined, prompting observers to ask, who is orchestrating this silent purge? One theory making the rounds points to Zhang Yuxia, the remaining CMC vice chairman and once a discreet ally of Xi, as having struck back. Rumors claim Zhang obtained evidence that Miao Hua once remarked he would wait until he controlled the military before acting, words interpreted as treasonous. When this evidence surfaced, Xi had no choice but to approve Miao's arrest. From then on, Xi's loyalist camp weakened, while Zhang emerged as the new power broker. This explains why both Zhang and Hu Jintao simultaneously rebuked Zhong Xiaojun. It was not simply about his posture, but a direct warning to Xi and the machinery he built. Yet former CIA analysts suggest a different scenario, that Xi himself is behind the purge. Disillusioned by loyalists who turned the military into a hub of corruption and incompetence, Xi may be cleaning house to forge a fighting force that can actually win wars. In this view, he is acting like a mafia boss, ruthlessly purging even his closest allies when they falter. At the center of attention now is Zhang Yuxia, a princeling general, son of General Zhang Zongshun. and a veteran of the Sino-Vietnamese border conflict. Unlike many who rose through patronage, Zhang has real combat experience and has long been trusted by both Hu Jintao and Xi. For years, he has served as the stabilizing figure within the military. After the 20th Party Congress, when Xi elevated figures like He Weidong and Miao Hua to overshadow him, Zhang appeared to be on the way out. But Miao's downfall has shown that not only has Zhang survived, he may be mounting a perfectly timed counteroffensive. The central question remains, is Xi losing his grip over the military, with Zhang reclaiming the role of anchor of stability? Or is this in fact a ruthless endgame move by Xi himself, a purge designed to consolidate power ahead of the critical year 2027? The struggle is far from settled. What is certain is that the careers of Zhang Xiaojun, Miao Hua, and He Weidong are only the beginning. The real battle pits Xi Jinping against Zhang Yuxia, and its outcome will shape not only China's future, but the global order itself. Air raid sirens sounded in Haikou at dawn. Residents, frightened, we hid in the basement. In the early hours of August 26, 2025, several areas in Haikou City, Hainan Province, were suddenly pierced by blaring sirens, startling many residents. Some, in panic, even rushed into shelters, mistaking the sound for an air raid alarm. According to videos circulating online, at around 1 a.m. in Xinyaiwen Village, Longhua District, the wailing sirens echoed through the night sky for more than 10 minutes. On Shuhai Road, residents reported that the noise was particularly loud. Many apartment dwellers were forced to leave their homes in search of safety. One comment that spread widely read, "Could Hainan Island become the southern battlefield?" Shortly afterward, Haiku's 12-345 hotline was flooded with calls from anxious citizens. Upon investigation, the sound was traced to Haiwu Middle School on Shuhai Road, though the initial cause remained unclear. When reporters attempted to contact the school directly, no one answered the phone. By that evening, the Haikou Civil Air Defense Office issued an official statement. The incident was not an air raid siren, but rather a technical malfunction in the school's broadcasting system. The system had automatically activated and emitted an emergency signal, resulting in the prolonged siren. Authorities stressed that Haikou's official air defense alarm system remains fully operational. Notably, this was not the first time residents had been disturbed by unexplained sirens at night. On March 14th, another video went viral, showing 3 loud blasts at 1:18 a.m. People in various provinces, including Guangxi, Qinghai, Jiangsu, Hunan, Zhejiang, Liaoning, Jiangxi, and Henan, also reported hearing similar sounds, in some cases lasting until 3 a.m. Online discussions have speculated that the phenomenon could be linked to dam discharges, but no evidence has ever confirmed this theory, leaving the mysterious sirens an unresolved puzzle. Beijing's hidden hand. CCP uses hometown groups to meddle in U.S. elections, endangering security. In recent years, the Chinese Communist Party has intensified its use of unrestricted warfare tactics to infiltrate American society, posing a direct threat to U.S. national security. One of the CCP's key instruments in this effort has been overseas Chinese hometown associations, which it exploits to interfere in U.S. politics and elections. In 2024, the U.S. Department of Justice indicted Sun Wen, a former employee of the New York state government, on charges of acting on behalf of the CCP, abusing his position for personal gain and serving Beijing's interests. Subsequently, on December 28, 2024, Chen Jinping, Secretary General of the Changle Association in New York, pleaded guilty in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of New York. He admitted to secretly operating as an agent of the CCP and even setting up a clandestine police station within New York's Chinatown. In connection with the same case, former Changle Association President Liu Qianwang was also indicted. Not long before that, Zheng Qirong, a former aide to New York City Mayor Eric Adams, came under FBI investigation for her alleged involvement in Beijing-backed operations. Reports revealed that Zheng had established a company in Orange County, New York, and purchased an abandoned prison facility. When the scandal broke, Mayor Adams quickly distanced himself from her. Meanwhile, Xiong Yan, a former leader of the 1989 Tiananmen Square student movement, disclosed that during his campaign for the New York State Assembly, A Chinese community association initially planned to support him, but was threatened by the Chinese consulate in New York, forcing it to withdraw both donations and votes. Xiong asserted that the consulate had deeply interfered in U.S. elections and urged the U.S. government to shut it down. According to reporters from New Tang Dynasty News, New York has become a hotspot for CCP espionage and infiltration abroad. Through its network of hometown associations and organizations such as Overseas 110, the CCP has been steadily embedding itself into U.S. political structures and social life, creating a grave risk to national security. Stroke hits. Shanghai's 45-year-old expert, blogger, claims, strokes are everywhere. Recently, a cerebrovascular specialist from Shanghai Ninth People's Hospital shocked the public by revealing that he himself had been diagnosed with a cerebral infarction. In a self-deprecating remark, he said, "I treat cerebral infarctions every single day, and in the end, I ended up with one myself." The news quickly drew widespread attention. Some mainland Chinese bloggers bluntly noted that cerebral infarctions and brain hemorrhages are now occurring everywhere. Many netizens pointed to the possible link with COVID-19 vaccines. According to a report by People's Daily, China's state-run media, Dr. Li Yi, director of the neurosurgery department and doctoral advisor at Shanghai Jiaotong University's Ninth People's Hospital, appeared in a recent video, forcing a smile as he introduced himself. "Hello everyone, I am Li Yi, 45 years old, and I too have suffered a cerebral infarction." Dr. Li shared MRI results showing he had been diagnosed with lacunar infarctions in both frontal lobes and the corona radiata, a form of small cerebral infarction, also known as lacunar stroke. Fortunately, he has no obvious symptoms for now and does not require immediate treatment. He explained that aside from overwork, he had no other major risk factors. In the past, due to excessive strain, he had even suffered temporary hearing loss and frequently rushed to perform emergency surgeries in the middle of the night. He further warned that strokes, both cerebral infarction and cerebral hemorrhage, are striking younger populations, no longer being an illness only for the elderly. He recalled treating 2 adolescent patients who suffered strokes from excessive gaming. One was only 16 years old and was already paralyzed on one side when admitted. Although doctors managed to save his life, the after effects remain severe. Similarly, Dr. Zhang Yaotuan of the cardiology department at Suzhou Cancer Hospital recently posted on Douyin that cases of heart attacks and cerebral infarctions are on the rise, with patients becoming noticeably younger. Whereas such conditions were once seen mainly among the elderly, now many patients in their 40s, who should be the pillars of their families, are presenting with vascular systems 30 years older than their actual age. Many netizens believe that vaccines, particularly Sinovac, are contributing to serious health problems such as cerebral and myocardial infarctions, in combination with factors like poor diet and stress. Dr. Zhang Kai-hui of Beijing Dongjimin Hospital also reported that cases of heart and brain infarctions are sharply increasing and affecting younger age groups, with people in their 40s frequently being hospitalized, and even patients in their 20s and 30s. These illnesses carry high rates of incidence, recurrence, disability, death, and financial burden. During the 3 years of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Chinese authorities implemented coercive measures to force citizens to take hastily produced, low-quality vaccines. In the aftermath, countless cases of vaccine-related complications began to emerge, devastating families across the country. Yet the government continues to suppress information, silence those seeking justice, and tightly control public opinion, leaving many vaccine victims with no channel to voice grievances and no path to legal redress. China's C919 jet, a made in China dream built on foreign parts facing a grim future. The C919 aircraft, hailed by China as a homegrown airliner, in reality depends almost entirely on Western technology. Not only its engines, flight control systems, and landing gear, but even its tires and brakes must be imported. As a result, despite being promoted as a direct competitor to the Boeing 737 and Airbus A320, the C919 faces a bleak future, underwhelming performance, little appeal to airlines, and slim chances of breaking into the international market. The C919 is the flagship product of COMAC, first unveiled between 2017 and 2018, with mass deployment originally planned for 2025 and a target of 75 deliveries. Yet by late August, only 5 aircraft had actually been handed over. Meanwhile, China's aviation market continues to be dominated by Airbus and Boeing, especially the A320 and 737 families. China's ambitions to build a commercial airliner go back decades. Leveraging Airbus's assembly line in Tianjin, Chinese engineers studied its designs and processes. While the C919 resembles an Airbus in appearance, its guts are almost entirely American. Airbus once revealed that China had purchased an A320 solely to dismantle it for reverse engineering. Even so, Airbus had little choice but to cooperate, driven by political and commercial considerations. Beyond Airbus, China also worked with McDonnell Douglas on the ARJ-21, the C919's predecessor. But in 8 years, fewer than 120 ARJ-21s were produced. Plagued by poor quality, the jet failed to win market confidence. Boeing, wary of intellectual property theft, ultimately refused to set up a production line in China. Despite extensive state propaganda, the C919 cannot escape its technological dependency. Even seemingly simple components like tires and brakes remain beyond China's independent capabilities. Aircraft tires must withstand temperatures ranging from 36 degrees to several hundred degrees upon landing, while braking systems must stop a steel behemoth weighing hundreds of tons within a few hundred meters. China's technological shortfall is stark. Its military aircraft still rely on drag chutes for deceleration, a method long abandoned in the West. The greatest challenge lies in operational performance. Airlines expect aircraft to fly at least 8 hours per day, like the Airbus A320 or Boeing 737, to remain profitable. The C919 has not reached this standard, meaning operators face losses if they deploy it. On top of this, China's aviation industry is already oversupplied with aircraft. Carriers are struggling financially under cutthroat fare wars and are reluctant to take on a risky new model. Export prospects for the C919 are also grim. The aircraft has not been certified by US or European aviation regulators, an essential prerequisite for entry into major markets. Without certification, its sales are limited to poorer countries in Asia, Africa, or Latin America. Yet even Indonesia has turned it down, citing safety concerns after previous accidents involving Chinese aircraft. More troubling still is the vulnerability created by technological dependence. Should Western suppliers cut off parts, the absence of even something as small as a tire would ground the entire fleet. This mirrors Russia's predicament under sanctions imposed after the war in Ukraine, which left its civil aviation sector nearly paralyzed. China and Russia are now collaborating on the C929, aiming to reduce reliance on Western technology. But deep mistrust clouds the partnership. Russia fears that China will again dismantle, copy, and eventually compete directly, as it has done with the Su-27 fighter and S-300 air defense system. In short, the C919 faces a dead end. With China's economy no longer growing at past rates, domestic airlines oversupplied, international markets closed off, and Western technology supplies vulnerable to sudden cutoff, the thousands of orders for the jet amount to little more than political theater. The future of the C919 and of China's broader high-tech ambitions risks becoming another unfinished project, lacking the core foundations to stand on its own. We value your perspective. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. If you found this video informative, we encourage you to share it with others. Your support helps us continue delivering compelling, fact-based reporting. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth coverage from Decoding China. Thank you for watching.
Hyvät ystävät, siinä oli pätkä todellisuudesta, siitä missä todellisuudessa siellä Kiinan asioissa mennään. Ja se on aika tärkeää olla todellisuuden kanssa tekemisissä. Ja ystävät, tilatkaa tämä kanava, kun ei maksa mitään ja yläpeukkua voi näyttää ja jakakaa ja levittäkää sitäkin, vaikka tuo ruutu nyt tuossa pimeeni. Oleellista on se, että pitää saada myös Kiinasta ihan oikeita tietoa, eikä vaan tämmöisiä höpöhöpötietoja. Ajattele, siellä tapahtuu, ystävä, koko ajan valtavasti kaikenlaista, mutta tämä voideltu länsimainen lehdistö, 30 miljardia dollaria Kiina käyttää läntisen lehdistön voiteluun, niin se tuottaa tulosta. On vain tällainen musta kuva. Ei Kiinasta puhuta juuri mitään. Ei mitään sen pyrkimyksistä ja sen myöskään heikkouksista, jotka on siis joka puolella on nyt tullut heikkouksia vastaan. Eli jättäkääpä miettimään näitäkin asioita. Kiitos paljon. Hei hei!